Congratulations, you're now a council delegate, and you're wondering what your new position entails. In this Council Delegate Orientation, we will discuss the roles and responsibilities of a council delegate here in the Girl Scouts of the Green and White Mountains. Once you review each slide, click to advance to the next slide to progress through this orientation. Hi, I'm Robin Boyd, a Girl Scout volunteer, and I'll be your guide as we introduce you to the role of the Council Delegate. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to review our council structure, describe the role of a council delegate, identify the components of our annual meeting, and explain the importance of our democratic process. Let's get started. Let's pause for a moment and discuss two questions either individually or with a group if you're watching this with others. Have you ever served as a council delegate? Why do you think it's important for you and others to have a voice in our organization? When you're done reflecting and sharing your answers to these two questions, please press continue and we'll move on. Here's what others have responded. It's part of my responsibility as a Girl Scout. I learn a lot and keep current. I appreciate the opportunity to interact with the Board of Directors and give my input. I participate to support the Council. I enjoy participating in governance discussions. Let's take a moment to review our council structure. Girl Scout members and their troops and groups form geographic communities in our council. These 52 communities are comprised of one or more towns or cities within the states of Vermont and New Hampshire. Communities join together in larger geographic regions to form districts. Within Girl Scouts of the Green and White Mountains, there are 10 districts. The districts form our Girl Scout Council, Girl Scouts of the Green and White Mountains, or GSGWM, which is itself a part of our national organization, Girl Scouts of the United States of America, or GSUSA. We are connected to other countries through our association with the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, or WAGGGS, WAGS for short. Let's talk about the volunteer and staff partnerships at each level of our organization, plus where you as a council delegate fit in. Girl Scout members are individual girls or adults who join our organization to participate in the Girl Scout program. Locally, girl members are supported by direct service volunteers, meaning volunteers who directly work with the girls, such as troop leaders and assistant leaders, product sale coordinators, and pathway advisors. We have 6 pathways to participation: troop, camp, series, travel, event, and virtual. Within each pathway, volunteers work to help girls become the best leader they can be. At this direct service level, the volunteers are supported by staff managers for their particular pathway, such as the manager for resources and troop pathway. In addition, volunteers are supported by staff in the membership growth and community development team, as well as the volunteer management team. Together, the volunteer staff partnership ensures the best program experience for the girls we all serve. At the community level, volunteers and staff work together to promote Girl Scouting and visibility within the community. Community team volunteers support the direct service volunteers and develop events and activities for girls within their towns and cities. Community volunteers partner with staff members and other volunteers to mentor, support, and train each other. Delegates are elected at the community level to serve as a liaison between the board and the community members. District volunteers serve multiple communities to provide high quality, customized support. Pathway coordinators help plan and coordinate events and series for an entire district, ensuring that there are program opportunities for all girls in the region. Staff partner with the district volunteers to provide support and opportunities for the girls and adults in the district. At the council level, volunteer members of the board of directors and our council officers establish policies and set the strategic direction for the council in partnership with the chief executive officer and senior members of the staff. Board committees and task groups help accomplish these goals. The Chief Executive Officer manages the Council's operations through the staff and volunteer partnerships we have just reviewed. The Chief Executive Officer is hired by the Board to implement the strategic direction and establish procedures to carry out the Board policies. Delegates provide input to our Board of Directors in determining these policies and our strategic direction. The Board Development Committee is responsible for recruiting and training board members to fulfill their responsibilities and legal duties. At the national level, the National Board of Directors establish the strategic direction and policies for the entire movement. National Council delegates, elected by the local Girl Scout councils, provide input and influence policy decisions made by the National Board of Directors. National Council delegates are elected every 3 years at the GSGWM annual meeting in order to represent our council and the greater Girl Scout movement at the National Council session. Every 3 years, GSUSA convenes the National Council session in order to gather together Girl Scout delegates from throughout the United States and around the world to vote on important matters impacting our movement. At the national level, the National Chief Executive Officer and senior staff provide support and partnership to the board and their council partners in ensuring the success of our entire Girl Scout movement. Girl Scouts of the USA is one of 145 member organizations of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. WAGS provides Girl Scouts with opportunities for international friendship and understanding through many fun and educational activities outside the United States. GSUSA is represented at WAGS meetings by an international commissioner. The International Commissioner is a member of GSUSA's National Board of Directors and serves as the board's chair liaison to WAGS and its member associations. The work of WAGS is carried out under the direction of its Board of Directors in partnership with its Executive Director. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the specific roles and responsibilities of the Council Delegate. What is a Council Delegate's role and responsibility, and how do they accomplish their task? Delegates convey the interests and concerns of our membership in order to guide the Board of Directors. Delegates complete their tasks by serving for a 2-year term, attend forums, and the annual meeting of the Council. Delegates consider matters referred to them by the Board of Directors, giving consideration to the needs of the entire Council. In addition, delegates may attend forums to engage in dialogue with members of the Board of Directors in person or through a board-sponsored webinar. You may find a complete listing of scheduled forums on our Council website. Delegates must attend our annual meeting, which is held each year in either October or November on a date determined by the Board of Directors. If the delegate cannot attend, they forfeit their participation and an alternate delegate will step in. In these situations, delegates are responsible for notifying their alternate delegate so the alternate may be prepared and register. Delegates are also responsible for communicating with the Girl Scout Council office if they must resign and are unable to complete their duties. If no one is notified of the need for an alternate delegate, then your community will not have its full voice in our democratic process. Council delegates also receive electronic updates from the Board of Directors sharing board actions and seeking information on specific topics. Delegates are responsible for sharing this information with their communities. Let's consider the roles and responsibilities of the Council delegates in a series of questions. A delegate is required to attend A. The annual meeting in October or November, B. The annual meeting and governance forums, C. Only the governance forums, or D. Delegates are not required to attend any meetings. When you have chosen your answer, please click on the arrow to move forward to our next slide. The correct answer is A. Delegates are required to attend the annual meeting held each year in October or November. The governance forums are encouraged, but they are optional. Our next question is, which of the following are valid reasons for delegate terms to be 2 years or less? There are 3 answers to consider, although you and your group might have additional thoughts on this question. Choose as many of the following answers that you think are correct. It is easier for teen girls to be delegates. It is an easier commitment for adult volunteers. And or consistent turnover ensures more accurate representation. Once again, please click on the answer box when you're ready to move forward. All of the answers are valid reasons for delegate terms to be 2 years or less. As a reminder, our bylaws allow any registered member who is 14 years or older at the time of elections to serve as a council delegate. Question number 3 is true or false. A delegate's role is to represent their own personal interests and thoughts. Please select true or false. When you're ready to move on, please click on the answer box. A delegate's role is to be informed on the issues, understand the concerns of their constituents, consider the interests of the entire council, and make decisions considering those factors. In other words, a delegate is responsible to reflect and represent the opinions of the members of the jurisdiction they serve, the interests of the council, and all the girls we are dedicated to serving. In this final section, we'll explore the components of the annual meeting and the role of the delegate on that day. Every year, delegates, members of the Board of Directors, and visitors gather in uniform at a location within our council to review the council's progress toward our corporate goals, elect directors, and make important policy decisions for the upcoming Girl Scout year. Delegates and board members are key components for a successful democratic process. It is important that you, as a council delegate, check in prior to the start of the annual meeting. The time period for check-ins is included in the agenda, which is sent to each council delegate in advance. The meeting begins with an opening flag ceremony. In addition, delegates are asked to approve the minutes of the last annual meeting and to hear the treasurer's report. Every 3 years, delegates elect new officers for the council as well as national council delegates. Each year, delegates are asked to elect members of the Board of Directors and members of the Board Development Committee. 1/3 of the board and 1/3 of the Board Development Committee are elected each year. Delegates may vote by acclamation when an uncontested slate is presented. The President of the Board of Directors and the Chief Executive Officer provide a State of the Council report summarizing for the delegates and attendees the highlights of the past year and the many successes toward the accomplishment of the Council goals. In addition, other members of the Board of Directors may seek input from delegates and members present on the items that are currently being considered and worked on by the Board. Toward the end of the meeting, we take time to recognize any retiring board members and Board Development Committee members and to install our new officers and members at large on our Board of Directors. The meeting ends with a closing ceremony. We know we've covered a lot and you may have additional questions. Please take time to review the materials that are located on the governance portion of our website. Also, throughout the year, please be on alert for communications entitled Delegate Digest, which are sent out by the Council President and the Chief Executive Officer, updating you on happenings within the Board of Directors. On our website, you will find position descriptions for delegates, our bylaws, and a complete list of any forum dates and locations. In addition, you will find all the materials necessary to elect council delegates and alternates within your community. This concludes our delegate orientation. You are now prepared to fulfill your duties as a council delegate. Congratulations and thank you for serving this important role within our Girl Scouts of the Green and White Mountains. Your role is important to our council, to the Girl Scout movement, and most importantly, to the Girl Scouts who are the leaders of our future.